and he actually stood, so that's, we can start that again. Where is our chair? Okay. So we're about to go live, so if you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. And thank you for everyone that watches us online for staying with us, if you have, while we got our few technical issues sorted. We have to say that every time we go live on a Sunday morning, it is an experiment. And no matter how much preparation we do, and I can assure you that Phil was here for some time yesterday prepping that everything was going to go perfectly, that isn't always the case when we actually go live and get ready to go live, which is hence why we're a little bit later, because, we expected everything to go right, having done a trial run. But as I say, we're not just celebrating the Easter season, we're celebrating Hydesville. And that is a very important anniversary for us, 176 years since Hydesville. And for those of you here at Wimbledon Church will know that I speak in depth about Hydesville, and Phil will be talking about Hydesville in his address. So I won't talk about Hydesville at this moment, other than the fact that it falls on Easter Sunday this time. And Easter Sunday, obviously, a very special day, because it's the day of resurrection. It's the day when Jesus was found to not be in his tomb. From the horror of the Good Friday, when he was murdered, and so were the others, but he told all the other people, don't worry, come with me, and you'll be coming into my world, into my home. The Sunday is totally different, because he was seen by Mary. He was seen, they thought he was the gardener. So it was the beginning of that transformation into his spirit body. So therefore it is that proof of continued life, in the circle that he then appeared in, I think later that day. And one of his disciples was regarded as missing it because he was asleep, but obviously in trance, was actually there as the energy in which Jesus could come through and say and talk and show them that he still existed and that life was eternal. So, as I say, I'm pleased to welcome all of you that have made physical effort to get here at the church and have waited very patiently for the last half an hour while we've been getting ready. We had a couple of birthdays in the week. We had Alwyn's birthday and we also had Cherie's birthday. Neither of them are here today, but if they are online with us, then know that we sent birthday thoughts and wishes and hope that they'll soon be well. We will be doing our healing list in a moment, and that will include my Ray. He would be chairing this morning, but he's also succumbed to the viruses that have been going around the church. As I want to welcome all of you, no matter what part of the world, or if you were a member that used to come that are no longer able to come. And, so it's your first time or you're a regular online, then welcome. We also know this church is full of spirit from those that used to be here in our family and friends that are never very far from us. I say our guest is a resident, is our resident trance healer, Phil, because he's here as that part of the fabric of the church, because he's here every week. But we are pleased that he's now recovered and well and back on the platform, and I'll ask him in a moment to open up in prayer, and then we will go on to the healing moments. I've also asked, I've delegated responsibility of giving to daffodils to people, so the daffodils can come up during the healing or at the end of the service, and that's a memory for those that are in spirit that we think of. So as you give that daffodil, then think of them. And the daffodil, often another symbol of spiritualism, not only the sunflower that always faces the sun, but the daffodil with its trumpet is the voice proclaiming that, life is eternal. So use that moment, with the daffodil, and as say, the yellow roses are for you to keep as part of an Easter gift. So I would like to ask now Phil if he will come and open in prayer.
Thank you, Jackie. Just let me adjust this camera. That's good. So welcome everybody to our Easter Sunday Divine Service at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, and please join me now in prayer. Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, we ask for your blessing on this Easter Sunday service, and that through the intercession of our spiritual guides, inspirers and loved ones, we may move into a greater understanding of our soul purpose and fulfill our potential. We ask, please, for healing to be given to our planet, those who are unwell in mind, body, and spirit, victims of war, the marginalized, lonely, bereaved, the animal kingdom, and all sentient beings. Make us strong in heart and mind to face the challenges we meet on our path of enlightenment, knowing that Spirit are with us every step of the way to guide and support our development and aspiration, and in so doing make an even stronger connection to our inner note of truth and love. Thank you to Ray, Jackie and Ashley Robinson, past presidents and members of our community who contributed and continue to contribute to the welfare of this church, a sanctuary of peace, learning, inspiration and regeneration. God bless you all, and may the light of Spirit be with you always. Amen.
Well, just to mention, the service, as we started a bit later, will be going on that little bit later. So understand if anyone has previous engagements and is short of time, then we understand if you're suddenly going. I'd just like you to say to go just very quietly, if that's what you have to do. Now I'm going to read the healing moments. Our healing moments are, as I say, everyone that you know of yourself. So those of you sitting at home, if you can think of those individuals that are not well at this time, that are on beds of sickness, are about to pass back, be promoted back to home, then this is the time to think about them as we use that link of energy, which actually increases that power of the healing force to go together jointly. We think of Olwyn, we think of Jim, we think of Daphne and Ivor. We think of Shirley, myself, Ray, Uncle George, Kelly and Steve, Stuart Dunn, Bernie, John Clifford, Sandra B, Sue Smith, and I say everyone else that you can think of at this particular time that needs our healing. Now we have the Serenity Prayer, which I'm just looking to see if it is up here, because I don't chair very often, so, I have to see. Sorry? Where it is? Sorry? Oh, okay, right. Perhaps they would like to come up and... here we are, found it. Okay, boys, we want to hear you saying it nice and loudly so everyone can follow it. We started to use this one rather than our traditional healing hymn at the beginning of COVID, because we felt that it was actually, it had more power in, helping us with our attitude with life. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So a very powerful healing prayer. So just think for just a few seconds of that one. And now I can see it in the book. I'm afraid I've got a very severe eye problem the last few days, and my eyes keep filling up. It's like continuous tears I've had for about 4 days. So I'm not seeing things terribly well. Now, this is the time as well that we go round with our collection plate. And I've got 3 young individuals that are helping me take the collection round today. I'm going to say Dawn's boys collectively are taking the plate round for me. I delegated responsibility for them. And they're going to go down each aisle for me. So boys, if you'd like to go down each aisle as people fiddle with trying to get their notes out, silver if they really have to, but for keeping the church open. We've got some lovely hot cross buns for when we go outside, and we've got Easter cake and we've got some Easter eggs. So there's different things, okay? So if you would like to just put your collection as the boys are taking that for us. This is normally when we're in SPTV that we read the notices. But as I say, SPTV are a great organisation. Richard joins us every fortnight. And what's really good is all the different events he puts on that are all free of charge. You can just find him on SPTV, find him on YouTube. You can find Ashley's, he has a once a fortnight programme, and he was on actually Good Friday, if anyone saw him. And Craig was on with him. So that was very good. Although he did mention that I was about people dressing for the type of thing they do, and saying that I was probably one of the ones you could say that sometimes I dress like a medium. I said to him, are you? Because, you know, I do sometimes have a wacky sense of dress, and, you know, so what you actually think in your mind as a medium with big hooped earrings and long flowing gowns or rainbow colours is sometimes me. And that's fine, because there's a lot of us out there, and it just shows that we need to be our true selves and be artistic, and to show the colours and the lights. As you see, I'm in thousands of sequins today, for all the different lights, all the different souls that are with us here at church, and those that are with us over the Easter time. Okay, now so what I'd like to do now, I say I can't see names on screens, so I won't worry too much. Yeah, if you can see some now, I'm going to ask Dawn if she'll come and look, because my eyes just are not good enough to be able to see if we've got them. I see no names on screen, so I don't know how you get to that.
Okay.
But if you don't, it's probably
Oh, you only
Okay.
see it when it's SPTV, I see, okay.
right.
Okay.
I thought it might be on
So-
Zoom, but it'd probably be in chat, so don't worry.
No, sorry.
We think of those people that we would read your name out, then know that we will have read your name out, okay? So you've got that link, you're already joining us. You've got a wonderful opportunity to hear Phil's address, and he's reading. So that's what I'm going to do now, is ask Phil to come and take over this part of the service. Okay, Phil?
Thank you, Jackie. So I've taken my reading today from Estelle Roberts' book, Red Cloud Speaks. And Red Cloud was Estelle's spirit guide for most of her mediumship career. And alongside spirit guides like White Eagle and Silver Birch, he is renowned for very, very articulate and inspiring philosophy. And whereas Silver Birch and White Eagle are probably more well known to the general public, nevertheless, Red Cloud is very deserving of being heard for his own philosophy. He's writing here about the subject, where is spiritualism leading you? He says, I'm going to explain where spiritualism is leading you. My reply is from the world of spirit, and I think those that live there are the ones to answer the critics. I speak in all humility, in all love, and in all desire to serve. First of all, I would like to ask you why you call it spiritualism. 2,000 years ago, it was known as Christianity. 4,000 years ago, it was known as the natural law. Why have you named it spiritualism? I do not know. I would like to remind those who ask, where is this great truth leading you, that every soul has free will? That is one of the truths that we have come to tell you. Having free will in your thinking, neither I nor any clergyman, nor any dogma or creed has the right to dictate to you what you should believe. You all have free will. I would point out that one of the oldest teachings given to you was, the truth shall set you free. The first thing that we are going to teach you is that you have free will to think for yourself. That is what spiritualism will lead you to understand. Not that you should believe me or anyone else, but that you should use your minds to think for yourselves. You and you alone will reap what you sow. Whether good or bad, it is for you to decide. You have free will. One of the truths that we are going to teach you from my world is that you can have all the prayers said for you for hours and hours and even days, but it won't help you one whit in my world unless you help yourselves. We have particularly noticed that one of the teachings you have received is concerned with incessant prayer for your souls. I want you to go back 2,000 years I want you to remember that what was taught then is no different from what we are teaching you today. What a man sows, so he reaps. We hear that nothing uplifting, but only gibberish comes from the world of spirit. I tell you that the great Oversoul is sending down to this earth of yours masters who can teach you life, teach you how to find your Christianity, teach you how to understand your Nazarene, teach you how to believe in your Bible. Read your Bible for yourselves, though not through another man's mind, not even through mine. Read what St. Paul said to the Corinthians. Now, concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. He goes on to tell the brethren of those days the gifts of the Spirit, and all the gifts as practiced by Jesus were spoken by St. Paul. Today you are watching what St. Paul described in Corinthians as I stand here in obedience to the natural law, which is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. I come to fulfill the law. If you as Christians are going to believe your Bible, you are going to believe what St. Paul said to the Corinthians. Otherwise, as he taught, if there be none risen from the dead, then all my teaching is in vain. If there be none risen from the dead, all our teaching is in vain. If that is so, where is the great truth leading you? If you are seeking in spirit and in truth, remember those other words. Ask, and you shall receive. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. What door? The door of death, and you will know and learn the truth of how to live and how to die. 2,000 years ago, before the Nazarene was born to the earthly world, before Christianity awakened, it brought the one message that we bring today. When the angels appeared and spoke to the shepherds, in other words, what we would call the direct voice, were they of the devil? They who spoke to the shepherds in the open fields, and what was their message? Peace on earth and goodwill toward men. That is what was taught before the Nazarene came, and that is what is being taught now that the Nazarene has returned. One of the things I find as I look around your earth world, I'm sorry to say this, that the brotherhood of man is practiced more by those who have no dogmas and creeds than amongst those who live by dogmas and creeds. I never condemn, but I must point out what I have seen. You must not run away with the old ideas that there are only two states, heaven and hell. If you do, you are going right against the teaching of the Nazarene, because he taught you, in the Father's house are many mansions. Therefore, there must be many stages of existence. Why the many mansions if there are only two, heaven and hell? If there are in the Father's house many mansions, what is there to differentiate between those who pass on? Why do some go into one room and some into another? That is exactly what this knowledge teaches you. It teaches you that unless you put your house in order, your soul in the earthly world, you will, when you enter the spirit world, pass over according to your soul state of progression in the earthly world. You will either pass to a higher or a lower room of the house of many mansions. Spiritualism, my friends, can teach man how to put his own world right, adjust his own laws, appeal to his God for sustenance. Did not the Nazarene say to you, ye are the light of the world? Where is the light? If your world was full of light, we should not need to come. We come to teach you where you are failing, to show you how to adjust your life whilst living in the earthly world, so that you can manifest the law of universal love. And if we can only see the first line of that in existence, then it will all have been worthwhile. Once you begin to awaken your responsibilities, the veil will be stripped away and you will see God in humanity. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful reading, and for Easter time as well. So many different things you can talk about with that. I don't know if Phil is going to use that for talking, but there are so many things that certainly come to mind. And even the fact when we created Spirit Seeker so many years ago, that we've got the word seeker. So we ask people to come and to seek and to learn. And that's what our church is all about, actually. I've changed the wording on a board out there about welcome to our church, and our church is a hub for spiritual people to join together with other spiritually minded people and to grow and to learn. And, you know, that encompasses it all. So hopefully Phil's got his voice back and a drop of water, whatever, ready to begin his address. I'm sorry for taking that call. Ashley was going to do something with the screens because he said that a couple of them have gone off, but we've got one screen, and providing people can actually still hear us online, then you only need the one screen. So that's
Hello again, everybody. Just before I begin my address, I'd just like to preface my address with some very, very inspirational words that a very good friend of mine, a medium, Daniela Florio, posted this week to Facebook. And I was so moved by them and so inspired that I wanted to incorporate what she had written as the, as I say, the preface to my address. And she wrote, "On this sacred Easter Sunday, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound significance of this day. It is a time of solemnity and remembrance, a moment to contemplate the ultimate sacrifice and the unwavering love that transcends all understanding. May we be reminded of the divine nature of the eternal soul on the passing to higher planes after physical death. Also, as we journey through this day, let us reflect on the teachings of compassion, forgiveness, gratitude, and renewal that Easter embodies. May this Easter Sunday be a time of reflection and gratitude, and may the peace and blessings of this Easter fill your spirit with joy and your heart with the assurance of divine grace. Amen." So those were Daniela's words of inspiration, and now I'd like to begin my address. As we consider the symbology of crucifixion and resurrection, we can equate regeneration, cycles, birth, death, and endings, new beginnings, with this transformative process, akin to planting a seed and the nurturing, feeding, leading to the seed's manifestation and growth. And in human terms, new enterprise, empowerment, the vision quest, and your seedlings taking root and flourishing with loving care and positive intention. Transformation and transitioning from one level of consciousness, physical death, to the next dimension, ascension, heaven, and rebirth, subsequently experiencing the peace that passeth all understanding. We as soulful beings are spiritually and emotionally enriched by the etheric release from matter to non-matter. Easter, a modern-day holiday celebrated by millions worldwide, holds deep significance and is rooted in both religious tradition and cultural symbolism. At its core, Easter commemorates the resurrection of Jesus Christ, a pivotal event in Christian theology symbolizing the aforementioned hope, renewal, and redemption. Its roots can be traced back to ancient pagan rituals that celebrated the spring equinox and the goddess Ustre or Ostara, the pagan goddess of humans and crops, representing spring and new beginnings. The traditional colors of the festival are green, yellow, and purple, corresponding to the Eastern earth base, heart, and crown chakras. The symbols used are hares and eggs, representing fertility and new life. So we can see how a pagan goddess enshrines and encapsulates the essence of our Easter symbology, and how our spirituality is rooted literally in substance mediated by love and compassion, and then alchemicalized or spiritualized by higher consciousness, the crown chakra. Therefore, despite its Christian associations, Easter's origins are steeped in fertility symbols, animal sacrifice, and also blood rituals. Astrologically, we have just had the Aries-Libra full moon eclipse, representing a culmination point, end of a cycle, departure and arrival. And numerologically, this Easter Sunday date, 31st of March, 2024, totals the number 4, which is a cardinal number and was a sacred and complete number with the Hebrews, as well as with several other cultures. It occurs very frequently in the Old and New Testaments and indicates completeness. A period cycle, as above, has resulted in a new phase of existence, just as myself and many others in this movement believe we are at the threshold of a new era for spiritualism. And as some are referring to it as the new mediumship, a freeing up of personal constraint modality, which of course coincides with the ascension process. Regardless of which traditions you follow, the spiritual meaning of Easter is a new light and mindful awakening after perhaps strenuous endeavor, enterprise, sacrifice, and tribulation. And in recognizing this as a time of metaphorical rebirth, this can be a time of sharing with friends and family, and also a time to bask in the early spring sunlight, snow, rain, or whatever is available in your particular time zone. Light a candle, write up your journal, or take an aromatherapy bath. However you choose to do it, now is the time to honor the spiritual meaning of the season by welcoming the light and new hope that spring portends. Our Reverend Ray Robinson highlighted the fact that the word Christian is rarely used in the New Testament to refer to those that trust, believe in Jesus. Mostly they were simply called believers, rather like many latter-day mediums adopt the word spiritual rather than spiritualist, as if trying to avoid being pigeonholed. Admittedly, we don't necessarily want to be stereotyped, but I'm personally proud to be championing the pioneers of our movement and the way in which they upheld and propagated its principles to a wider world. So I'm personally not averse to waving the banner for spiritualism and being out and proud about my commitment. The Spirit Guide, White Eagle, also referred to spiritualism and Christianity as being one and the same at their core. And I see nothing amiss at affirming my allegiance to Christ as an avatar, as I do to being a follower, supporter, devotee of Christian spiritualism. Fundamentally, I see neither as being in conflict with each other in a contemporary context. Why would you not be proud of owning your spiritual heritage? How many of you are also out and proud about your spiritualism? In doing this work and standing on this platform, I do spiritualism a disservice if I negate my spiritualist roots and everything that it stands for. We are, after all, spiritual beings, first and foremost, before we occupy physical bodies. But I'm not about to disown my spiritualism by only referring to myself as a spiritual medium. So we could say that the spring equinox is also an important time to renew our vows, our affirmations, past affiliations that we have renounced, crucifixion in favor of avowed new intentions, beginnings, resurrection, very similar to a spiritualist naming ceremony, baptism, if you will. My intention in orchestrating this address is to interweave the annual commemoration of Hydesville Day, which this year falls on Easter Sunday, so that we remember the Fox sisters who were such a galvanizing force in, as we often refer to it, as modern spiritualism. Although, as previously mentioned, spiritualism per se is as old as and synonymous with Christianity itself. You could argue that the Fox sisters were indeed a firebrand, trailblazers into a new frontier of an emergence into a reconceptualization of spiritualism and everything it has hitherto stood for in the minds of people who acknowledge the authenticity of a spiritual reality in which souls of the dear departed aspired to everlasting life, and the vicissitudes of spiritual progression as espoused by learned men and philosophers such as William Blake and Emanuel Swedenborg. So here we have yet another example of a prolific shift in consciousness and a transcendence from one state of being, crucifixion, into another, resurrection. So to segue conveniently back to my Red Cloud reading, Where is Spiritualism Leading You? I hope this gives you food for thought in deliberating how successful or otherwise the appraisal and evaluation of your own spiritualism has been in determining whether it's merely window dressing with very little substance on which to draw for your own spiritual sustenance, or if it sustains you through thick and thin and doesn't undermine any perceived shortcomings, but rather it reinforces your own conviction that what lies beneath or at the very core of your being, the indestructible God force, divinity, is the beacon that not only lights your path towards self-understanding and enlightenment, but is a lighthouse for those who are struggling in one form or another to get to grips with the meaning of life and the role they have, albeit unconsciously chosen to play on the stage of life. This is our School of Life homework, a universal conundrum which some of us have come to terms with and others are less preoccupied with, but who, nevertheless, have a yearning to get to grips with. Hence the avowed intent not to let spiritualism and its glorious philosophy and heritage slip through their fingers in favor of a more streamlined contemporary methodology. After all, it's impossible to not be a spiritual medium because the whole edifice of mediumship is redundant without a spiritual component, whereas a spiritualist medium is an exponent of the art of spirit communication, as ratified by everything spiritualism stands for, the ethos and fabric of our embodied selves. I hope this provokes you into more assiduously examining and dissecting what your modus operandi actually is in terms of how you live, and that lovely word again, propagate your spiritualism. You are a spiritualist. Are you a spiritualist or spiritual, i.e. Buddhist, Catholic, Baptist, Church of England, Mormon, medium? Or are you under the illusion that while calling yourself a spiritual medium, healer, practitioner, outside the confines of a spiritualist church, you are actually confirming your allegiance to spiritualism by attending a spiritualist church, which embodies most or all of what you subscribe to, if not more, under the generic title of spiritual. Conversely, maybe your transgender, bilateral, trans, queer, asexual, etc., woke mentality, or even a penchant for sitting on the fence, disqualifies you from being a spiritualist medium, or even a medium, in which case, c'est la vie. Western religions are all, in fact, singing from the same hymn sheet. As Red Cloud espouses, 2,000 years ago, spiritualism was known as Christianity, and 4,000 years ago, it was known as the natural law. The only difference being that we, spiritualists, have proven the continuation of life after physical death, hence crucifixion and resurrection. Friends, a spiritualist is one who espouses the truth of spiritualism and upholds a belief that spirits, personalities, the physically so-called dead, or if you prefer, disembodied, communicate with the living through a medium, which is surely what all of us who remain loyal to our churches believe by attending Sunday services, development circles, healing groups, and working as platform mediums. I rest my case. Thank you.
Wonderful. I mean, we could all sit and discuss those words for hours. And if we just have a dozen spiritualists in a room, they will all have a different angle, a different perception of what that actually means. And that's all part of our individualism, you know, for how we believe in things and our perception of things. And what works for you, let it work for you. And know that as spiritualists, you know, we don't have to have the one book of teachings, and those words that were quoted from the Bible are very strong. Some of the positive elements of the Bible. There's quite a few negative ones, but I love those positive ones. And I often think about all the disciples getting all of their gifts on that occasion when they're, you know, and that day where they were told to go out and go and work, you know, and how wonderful that was. I actually watched the film The Robe. I think it was on Good Friday. Lovely old story of the centurion that actually been the one to put Jesus to death, and how he'd then got the robe. And, you know, it may be that most of it wasn't true, but it's lovely. Richard Burton and Gene Simmons in that, but it's that lovely story as they chose that they were taking the path of being put to death, and you just see the clouds behind them as they're going up, and very wonderful and very spiritualist, would say, because they prefer that they were going to be with Jesus and that wonderful spiritual philosophy that he had given them. So that was a really lovely address from Phil and a lovely reading that we had before. So very special to be here and be able to listen. And it's now for me to say to you, and I'm sure that you all know, that it's the love that we manifest when we're connecting with Spirit that helps that link to be stronger. And it's also just wonderful that when we have friends and family come to communicate with us, that we give them that sense of love, because you can put love into your voice. That makes us know that we're welcome. If we're suddenly knocking on the door, you know, and you're just shrugging your shoulder, and you think, oh, nice to see you. Even if you don't even say that much, you know, but it's that love and that joy, because communication should be joyous. You know, that knowledge that they exist and they have a life. They're not just waiting on a cloud in the hope that we will want to come and communicate with them. So, you know, when your loved ones do come, you know, fill this room, this church with love. Feel love all around Phil. Give love. But, you know, that energy and that importance that it has in that communication. Think out of the box. You know, we don't need a whole paragraph of, oh yes, I know that person from such and such and such. It's just a yes we need, or a no, so that we know that we're on the right road. And just that confirmation of that individual that's, you know, decided to spend their time coming to be with us. So, you know we're going to have some nice clear yeses and nos. And, you know, I'm going to hand over again once again to Phil for his demonstration of mediumship. Phil?
Thank you very much, Jackie. And yes, I can already feel the energy building in the church. And our lovely friend Dawn is going to pass the microphone round to people in church so that we can hear. And if you could please hold the microphone as close to your mouth as you possibly can, it helps the people online to hear your response to messages. So as I start, and as Jackie was speaking, I was very aware of a very young girl. I put her no more than about sort of probably 6 or 7 years of age, who ran straight up to Tess, our church member Tess, and she's standing by your side, Tess. And I'm getting a sort of a flurry of communication from her, but she's principally saying that you would know of her mother. All right, on either a friendship link or somebody that you've worked with.
I went to school with her, Mum.
Right,
Yeah,
right, okay.
yeah.
Because she said, I've not done this, and I need her, meaning you, Tess, to pass to her mother the message that she is alive and well in spirit, and she's receiving all the help that she needs to have. All right?
Right, yeah.
Yes, yes. Now, I don't know whether her mum's a spiritualist or whether she can accept this information. So you need to just be obviously discreet about that. She's also taking me to these ribbons that she wore in her hair when she was here on the physical earth plane, because she said she was a very inquisitive child. She used to want to delve into, yes, I will. She used to want to delve into everything. So curiosity was at the top of her hit list, all right?
Right, yeah.
Right. She's saying that since her passing, her mum has been very, very, very down. And she has periods of wanting to contact people, but then withdrawing. So, you know, if you haven't heard from her, or you felt you hadn't been able to contact her for that reason because you felt she wanted, you know, to be on her own or solitude, then the little girl is saying, please bring mummy out of this bubble. All right?
Right.
She's referring to her mum being in a bubble. Bubble.
Okay.
And she said, tell her, meaning you. She said, this word curiosity is something that has always been in your consciousness as well. right from a very early age.
Quite naughty.
So she's drawing my attention to your curiosity. And she said, oh, she said, that's got her into more trouble than anything else, as though she's been following your progress through life, but she has access to this information. And she said, she won't be cross with me, will she? She won't be cross with me. So I'm sure not, but she's talking about the curiosity and she's saying, yes, yes, I will. She was watching you on Wednesday, because on Wednesday you went to do something that you weren't intending to do previously, but you suddenly changed your mind and you decided that that was the time to make that move or do that particular action last Wednesday.
Yeah, I know what she means.
Right, okay. Because she's saying, oh, I do watch people, and I saw her do that. And she's saying, you know, she's pleased that she did it.
Yeah, I'll get that. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I wasn't gonna, but then I thought I've got to. Yeah, I thought I've got to
Yeah.
do it.
She's laughing because she said, oh, I think I could be very good at doing this. So, yes, but that's basically what she said, that, you know, you've done it and that's good.
Right.
Okay. She has a helper coming in with her to try and phrase things a little better than she's able to do at the moment. And he's saying that now is the time, because you've been drawing back, you've been drawing further back and back into yourself. Excuse me. Now is the time that you need to be galvanizing your strength
I'm trying to.
and moving forward.
I'm having a lot of Guinnesses.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my strength up.
I
Yeah,
will tell
I
her.
do get
You
that.
know this pain that you've been experiencing between your shoulder blades? You've been having some problems at the,
More there.
well, going
Yeah,
down a bit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
starting over
Yeah.
there. Right. He's saying this is because you're not taking care of yourself as well as you know you should.
Right.
All right.
Mhm.
And for some reason you stopped eating eggs, haven't you?
I did have a fried egg this morning, but
You had a fried egg this, but before that you'd,
in a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good protein. And
Okay.
I'm not getting on the nutrition thing or anything, but, or diagnosing, but that is what they're saying to you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Your mother's mother, you were very upset when she went to spirit, weren't you?
Yeah, me name.
Because
yeah.
you had some kind of a bond with her.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
always.
And she's just coming in quickly to reassure you and say, I'm always helping you whenever I can.
Uh-huh,
And
yeah.
I'm around.
She
And
used to like egg and chips.
did she?
Yeah.
Oh, she's probably still having it over there. But yeah, that's good. That's good. And she said a ring that you thought you'd lost or that had gone astray has recently been found.
I can't place that.
A ring.
A ring.
A ring that you wore for quite a long time. And then for some reason you stopped wearing it, put it away, couldn't find it. And then it
Oh,
either has reappeared or is going to reappear.
okay.
All right.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else for Tess? Yes. They're also saying to me, stop counting the days, because the more you count the days, the longer that
Yeah.
event will seem to take to arrive or manifest.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So stop counting the days and just
Okay.
relax back. And you picked up a book recently which got your interest, and you suddenly sort of thought, this is not necessarily the kind of book that I would ordinarily read. And yet you were sort of there, got into the book and starting to read it and getting quite a lot of, you know, information and inspiration from it.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, good. And they're saying, keep on with that book,
Okay.
because that book will lead to another book, stepping stones.
Good.
All right? Because your mind is suddenly starting to open up
Mhm.
and accept things that a few years ago you would never have accepted at
That's
all.
true. Yeah.
So they send their love, and thank you very much for
Thank
working with
you.
me.
Thank you.
Right. I'd like to come to Julie there, please. Thanks, Julie. And Julie, I first met Julie at one of my open platforms, and I haven't really seen her since, and she walked in this morning. So it's lovely to meet you. I'm linking with a lady, not family member, but a friendship link, who would have passed with breast cancer.
A cancer, not necessarily breast cancer.
You can take her?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. Because she said, I haven't really done this before.
Mhm.
So she said, please you bear with me while I try to get my words sorted out.
Thank you.
She's talking about the passing of a gentleman in your life that would have, where are we now? That would have passed around last year, middle of the year, probably around June or July. And his passing seemed to have quite a strong effect on you.
Not last year, recently.
Oh, recently, was it?
Yeah, very recently.
Okay, so why is she talking about June or July? Why are you talking about June or July? Right, okay, right. She said it was a fairly quick passing, or in other
Yeah.
words, a quick diagnosis and a quick passing.
Quick passing.
Right.
Yeah.
So there would have been something like a medical review for this gentleman or a prognosis sometime last year. And she's giving me that period of June, July,
Okay.
when he would have found out about that illness and then subsequently have passed.
He started to get poorly. And
He
really
started to get
enough.
poorly then. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So that's what she's trying to say. She's also, yes, I will. She's talking about somewhere that she said you used to connect and go to places, but then you suddenly moved apart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she said, I remember very fondly those places that we visited. And she's taken me to one place in particular where there is a sort of a humped bridge. It's rather like a park area, but it has this sort of, I don't know what you call them, not hump bridge, but it's a bridge that goes like that.
I can't place that.
She's
as a base.
taking me to that particular bridge. She's also talking about your love of swans.
No.
You don't like
no.
swans?
I like swans, but
Oh,
not specifically, you know. But
No, because she's
Nothing.
talking about swans because she talks about serenity and
Okay.
calmness. And she says that watching a swan gives you this feeling of calmness.
Okay.
All right. She said that's something that you need to find in your life a lot more now.
Okay.
This sense of calm. She said, don't worry about the fact that you think that unless you work continuously on this particular idea that you have, that it's not going to manifest or happen, because it is.
I can take that.
And very similar to what I was saying to Tess, the more you sort of count the days and yes, let's get it done,
Yeah.
the more you'll be pushing it away.
Into the future. Yeah.
All right. This lady also talks about the fact, which you would remember, that she was very, very close to her mum.
I never met her mum, to be honest
Right.
with you.
She's talking about the fact she was very close to her mum and that when her mum passed, that was like not the end of her world, but nearly the end of her world.
Okay.
So she talks about that. She also talks about you thinking a lot about being very concerned about your mum.
Yes.
And that's why she brought she brought her mum up, because she said this bond between mother and daughter, as indeed any child and parent, is indestructible.
Yeah.
And will always be there.
Mhm.
So she said, don't worry about the fact that you think you could be doing more for your mum, because what you are doing is as much as you could give
Thank you.
at any one time.
Yep.
All right. Okay. You've also, and this is Steve, your husband.
My husband,
Right.
yeah.
You've also been concerned about Steve's health.
Yeah.
Right.
Nagging him, as they say.
And she'd also, because Steve, let me just switch to you for a moment, because you have had at some point intermittently healing, haven't you? Spiritual healing.
Not that he's known.
Right. You may not have consciously gone to get spiritual healing, but healing has been sent to you by people that are involved in this work and spiritualism. And you've noticed how quite dramatically your energy levels suddenly plummet or go up, down, up, down.
Yes.
And that's not necessarily attributable to any conventional medication that you're taking. All right.
Okay.
When you get these feelings of up and down, it's not like highs and then depression. It's more like elation and feeling as if you want to almost fly, or that in some way you're being inspired or given strength that you didn't know you had.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
I
I'm
do,
sorry, it's a
yeah.
bit convoluted, but that's how they're putting it to me. And they said that this is all part of your spiritual awakening,
Okay.
because this work here, you've been pushing that away for quite a long time.
Right.
Like, go away, I don't want to know. But whatever you do, however hard you try and push it away, it's going to come back.
Okay.
because you yourself, my friend, are a healer.
Okay.
And I can say that categorically because that's what my guide is telling me now. And he said you've had all kinds of indications about that, where you've either been talking to people or you've been with people in company, and suddenly they say to you, you know, it's extraordinary. Whenever I'm with you, I always get a sense of feeling better. You understand that?
Yes.
Right. So that's your confirmation, and I want you to capitalize on that and work on that and use that as and when it is given to you. All right?
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Your mother's in spirit.
No.
No. All right. How to say that? Okay. Your mother has moments of lucidity and not so good lucidity.
That's correct. Yep.
Right. She has some form of memory impairment.
Not really. No.
No. Okay. Because, okay, oh, yes, all right. She's also very perceptive, your mother, always has been. And
Yes.
very, I would just stretch that almost to quite psychic.
Yes.
Yes, because this is where you get your spirituality and your healing gene from your
Okay,
mother.
yep.
Now, I don't know whether your mother was involved in spiritualism.
She's not. No.
No. But she certainly had the capacity, or has the capacity, to work in this way. But they are saying, because they said mother spirit in spirit, I assumed she was in spirit, which I apologize for. But nevertheless, she has these moments of being able to move from a material, physical consciousness to a spiritual consciousness very, very quickly.
Okay.
And you're surprised because at times she says things to you that you think, that's unusual. How does she know that?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what she's doing. She's, without consciously saying, right, I'm going to be psychic now, I'm going to be meeting it. She just does it automatically.
Yes.
All right. And that was the correlation to mum in spirit. Yes. Okay. So keep on with the good work, and you'll find that it's really going to blossom. There's a,
Thank you.
I'm just going to move to Julie again. Julie, there's an anniversary coming up of a passing in September,
I'd have to think about that one, but probably.
and I want September the 18th
Okay.
of a passing, a lady's passing. She's not identifying herself, but she's given me September the 18th. Again, I feel it's on a friendship link rather than a family link.
Okay.
And this lady would have passed at 3:27 p.m. in the afternoon on that particular date in whatever year she passed.
Okay. I'll have to think.
So
about
let me
that.
know about that when
Yeah.
you've verified it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you very much for working
you.
with me.
Thank you.
Right. Can I speak to the lady in front of you, please, with the glasses on? Hello. May I work with you?
Hi.
Hello. Hello. It's really nice to link with you because your mother had a sister.
Yes,
Yes, in spirit.
no,
No. Okay. Again, I'm being given sister spirit.
my grandmother's sister could be.
Your grandmother's sister
Mm.
in spirit? Right. Well, let's try and get the lady right first of all.
Okay,
If you remember this particular lady,
okay,
physically, she wasn't particularly tall.
correct.
She was quite, not short, but shortish. All right. She was very particular about her clothes and
Yes,
the way she dressed.
yes,
And she would pick up on other people when she said, "Do it, that's not straight, straighten your tie, do this, do that." Boom, boom. Yes?
sounds like her, yes.
Yes. Okay. She's also showing me the fact that she was very in connection with flowers and plants and nature.
Yes,
Yes. And she said that made her sensing very, very acute as to how people felt and how people reacted emotionally to situations. All right.
okay.
And this is what she's getting around to telling you, but I want to give you a little bit more evidence, first of all. And Italy is linked with you?
No,
No, because she's taking me to Italy and she's taking me to Brindisi in Italy.
no.
No, you've never been there. You
I've
don't know
been in
anybody
Italy,
there?
but no links to that place.
Pardon?
I've been in Italy,
You've been to Italy, but
Yeah,
not to
but
Brindisi.
Not Brindisi.
Okay, because she's taking me there because she says that there was a time when you had every intention of traveling a lot,
Yes,
and then other things got in the way of stopping you from traveling, and you've been wanting to move out of your particular environment that you're in at the moment
yes, correct.
and start moving again.
Yes. I'm
You're-
a
you-
traveler anyway. Yes.
Pardon?
I'm a traveler.
Yes. You've also been wrestling for a number of years with your conscience about certain religious principles that you were brought up with.
Correct.
And now those religious principles are being challenged by your belief system, which is starting to change.
Correct.
And your grandmother, this lady, is talking about the fact that going to certain places in other countries is going to not only broaden your outlook on your own perspective about life and your spirituality, but it's also going to give you pointers towards particular people that are going to be very instrumental in helping you develop your spirituality on a broader canvas and also helping you to develop your own mediumship.
Resonates deeply.
Good. I was hoping you'd say that. So that's good. That's good. Yes, where do you want to take me with this lady? Right. You have a brother living
Yes.
because your brother's been getting very withdrawn
He is. Yes, correct.
and you've been helping him, but only to the extent that you feel intuitively that you can help when you feel the help is the right time.
Oh my God, yes.
Now, she says in some ways your brother is his worst enemy because he just often doesn't listen to reason, doesn't
Yes,
listen to reason.
yes.
And he's got to go through that phase in order to understand that when things finally start going the way they're meant to go for him, that he would have benefited way back in listening to what other people had to say in greater detail.
Yes.
So the basic nub of that message is that you have done and are doing everything you can for your brother,
That's so correct.
and you can't do
You can't do anymore.
any more. Just quickly, she's
Oh,
talking.
I came to that.
She's talking about your.
It took years.
Thank you. She's talking about your digestive system
Yes.
and that you've been getting some acid reflux.
No, I don't.
You don't.
No.
So
Very good
what's this
digestion.
about eating? And there's a sort of like a feeling of can't. Whether it's to do with the particular type of foods that are more difficult to digest than others. Seems to, excuse me. There seems to have been some situation with a type of food that you changed to eating and it hasn't quite worked for you. What is this around food with you?
Food is very important, obviously, for our
It's very important.
spiritual development. I think I completely changed my view on food recently.
You have?
Completely, yeah.
You have,
Because
okay.
we are what we eat.
Well, what I've
Because
just
what
said,
we eat is actually what we are seeing from the science
Okay.
frequency. So
okay.
I understood that.
So don't get
I
worried about
changed
what
my
I said.
mind.
You know, you're not suddenly going to get this awful problem. But it just seems as though maybe it was.
Not worry, but I do study a lot about gut health. So maybe that's what you're picking up.
Good. Thank you. And she says that you're longing to get back to the sea and the sand again.
Okay.
Sand, I don't know why sand is important, but you seem to, there was a time when you used to go walking along sand or
I
along
love
beach.
beaches. I love beaches. I
Right.
go beaches all the time.
Yeah, so
So,
whereas
yeah.
maybe a medium would often say, you're drawn to the sea, you love the sea, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
I'm saying that you're drawn to the sand.
Yes, I am. Very much so.
It's not that you negate the sea and so go away. I only like,
That's so true.
right, good. Because I just wanted to get that right. Okay. Just before I leave you, they're giving me a piece of music, which if you haven't already heard it, is very, very good for your spiritual vibration and developing spirituality, which is Tchaikovsky's Pathetique Symphony, number 6.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
'Cause she said that will mean something very
Okay,
significant for you.
excellent.
Okay. And she said, remember the lace work
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
and the embroidery.
Yes,
She loves all that.
yes.
When you were in the kitchen recently, you had the window open. There's a window in your kitchen,
Yes,
and a wasp or a bee came in.
yes. That's so true.
Because she talks about that, and she said, I just wanted to give you one thing that you could say.
No, I gently released it outside.
Mhm.
Just
Good,
from very
Good,
gently, yeah.
good, good. Okay, one more word before she goes. Paper mache.
Paper mache. Uh, yeah, I'll think about that.
When you were young, when you were a child, school, paper
Yes,
mache.
yes, I did work with, yeah, with that art. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for working with me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I must come to Mum Tess.
Thank you.
Now, I knew before I came to church today that I was going to have a connection with your mum, which I have. And yes, she's talking about, she's not going to give me necessarily loads of sort of verification that it's her, because she said, you will know it's me.
Yes.
And she's talking about the end of April, because she said at the end of April, there is a possibility of a shift in the direction of your future work or
Okay.
career.
Yes.
And she's specifically talking about the end of April.
Okay.
And she said, don't worry too much, because you've got everything lined up. Everything is in place
Yes.
for this move.
Yeah. It's already happening, actually.
It's already
Funny you should
happening.
Say that. Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
good. Okay. And she said you've been concerned about a friend of yours who you think is being marginalized or not accused of something that she's not responsible for, but that she's being unfairly treated.
Yes, there was a friend that she did have something.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she said to me, this is where she, my daughter, she said,
Yes.
is a very good interloper,
Mhm.
because she's a very good negotiator, and she can
Yes.
sort of even the paths between circumstances that are happening in her
Yes.
life to other people.
Yeah, I helped her get through.
Yes.
that,
So it's a
yes.
very sort of, I don't know, I can't think when your birthday is, but it's a very sort of Libran energy of diplomacy and tact and bringing balance into your life. And this is what she's talking about, because she says your life has been so unbalanced
Yes. Mm.
that now she's helping you bring in the balance again.
Okay.
She and yourself went to Bangladesh?
We went to India many times.
Yeah.
Yes.
To Bangladesh?
No, to India, South India, and
Right, right. Because she's talking about, yes, she's talking about Bangladesh, because she said there is a particular festival that happens in Bangladesh,
okay.
and it's towards the end of this year. And she said this is a very important festival for you to either physically be at or mentally link with.
Okay.
Krishna. She's talking about the word Krishna.
Okay.
Because she said this is, you've been reevaluating, she says, your
Yes.
sort of spiritual philosophy.
Yes. Yeah. There've been many changes, but in a positive direction.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I've been
yes.
dealing with healing energies of certain, I don't want to say too much, but
No,
and it's
no,
helped
that's,
me to heal.
and I'm not going to say too much either, but
Yeah.
that's the gist of her message.
Yes.
She's also, she said, I don't want to labor on this, she said, but before she passed, she had a lot of pain in her stomach area. Yeah.
More in her head.
Well, in her head, but she
Yes.
also talks about the tightness in her stomach.
Okay. Mm.
And she talks about that in relation to apprehension, because she says, although I was very sure of my transcendence
Yes.
into spirit, I was nevertheless apprehensive about the effect that it would have on me when I got there,
Mm.
and how my past life here
Yes.
would be seen and understood or
Okay.
judged in some way. All right. But she said, I shouldn't have worried, because there was no need.
No, she had led such a good life. So
And she met her father. Her father was there to meet her when she crossed over.
yes, she
All
was
right.
very close to her father.
Yes, so he was there, and he was a very sort of tall, gallant-looking man,
Yeah, yeah,
very smart.
yeah. Very elegantly dressed. He was very handsome.
Yes, yes. She also said that he had some kind of problem, not a disability as such, but something with his left leg.
Okay.
Yes?
I'm
Oh,
not sure.
right.
Yeah.
So that when he walked, there wouldn't be a sort of a stoop, but there would be some,
I don't remember that.
I don't know. Anyway, she's just
yes.
talking about that. Okay. Right. Christian. Right. You would have known a gentleman at some point in your life by the name of Christian. May have been abbreviated to Chris, but the name would have been Christian.
All right.
Because she said this gentleman was very much on the sort of slippery slope of
Right.
life.
Right.
And words that you said helped this gentleman to get back onto the,
There was a work colleague actually called Chris.
yes,
Yes.
you helped him get back onto the right path for him.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
And she just wants to say on his behalf, thank you very much for doing that,
Okay.
for doing that. She said, you felt in the last few months that you've been looking sort of like down a lens, quite a narrow lens,
Yes.
that has been focusing your concentration into one particular point or area
Yes. Yeah.
of
It's
study
healing.
or speculation.
Yeah. And I've healed myself with
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And you've also been looking through old photos
A little bit. Yes.
and sorting, she says you've been sorting papers,
Yes.
legal papers and
Done a
documents.
lot of things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And she said, don't worry, because I'm helping and that will all sort itself out.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Yes.
So peony. She wants to give you a bunch of peonies.
Yes.
Peonies are very important.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Yes, good.
What color are they?
Pink.
Pink. Yeah. I thought so.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
How are we doing for time? All right. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. And I'm very sorry I haven't been able to get to everybody in the room, but there are many loved ones here that are reassuring me that they are most certainly very much present in your lives and helping you as and whenever they can. So thank you very much for working with me today.
Well, on behalf of everyone, thank you for a lovely service. And those that haven't had messages have been able to get a message just from the messages you have given out. So there's a great spiritual energy in here this morning. There's a really lovely feeling. And I want to thank everyone for being part of that this morning and feel very much for the lovely reading, the lovely address, the mediumship. We should have you working more with your mediumship separate to your trance, which is also obviously very special. Our notices, I'm going to get Phil to read because my eyes are still incredibly watery. And so I will call him back up to do the notices, followed by his closing prayer. And I went out during the service and I've got a lovely big vase now at the foot of the altar. So for those of you that I gave daffodils to, all the boys, my helpers this morning gave you all a daffodil. If you'd like to come and put your daffodil in memory and just say their name as you put them in, and then they know that they're for them and they can be here over the Easter time, when we know that the church is full of spirit over the times that we're closed. And those that haven't got daffodil, then we still have some at the front of the church. So please help yourself if there's another member of the family that you wanted to remember that you suddenly thought that you hadn't thought of. So please come and do that. As I wish you all a wonderful rest of Easter and a safe journey home. I will now ask Phil if he will do the closing prayer and also the notices. Thank you, Phil.
And the events, yes?
And the event, yeah, the notices. That's our posh word.
So I should do the events first, followed by the prayer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, so hello again, everybody. I'm temporarily putting my chairperson hat on now. So this is the forthcoming events list. Our guest medium for the Divine Service on Sunday, April the 7th is our very dear friend June Frost, who is with us today. So June will be joining us next Sunday, and that's for an SPTV live in church service. Please note that the healing clinic is every Tuesday 7 until 8:15, and Thursday, 10 a.m. until 12 noon for members of the community and animals. You will be greeted by our healer practitioners in a safe, friendly, and welcoming atmosphere, and free will donations apply. The next Friendship Club, which I think Jackie mentioned earlier on, is this Wednesday, April the 3rd, 11:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. in church, and Zoom. Are we doing Zoom? I think we are, or maybe not.
I'm not sure. 'cause I do
No,
this
we're not sure about Zoom on Wednesday. So please just follow the notice on our Facebook pages, which will be posted in the next couple of days. The next open platform with myself, Phil Shaw, is on Thursday, April the 18th at Wimbledon. These evenings are a platform for intermediate, advanced, and working mediums to polish their evidential mediumship, inspirational speaking, philosophy, spirit writing, art, and presentation skills. A supportive audience is always welcome, so we're most appreciative of anyone that can come along to watch and support the mediums who are working. There is a demonstration of mediumship with Ivan Lee at Wimbledon on April the 21st at 7 o'clock. The admission is £5 and tickets are available in advance via the link on our Facebook pages. I am giving a demonstration of trance mediumship with my spirit guide Chung at Hackbridge Spiritualist Church on April the 26th at 7 p.m. The admission is £5. And again, tickets are available in advance from our Facebook page link. Parking is available opposite Wimbledon Spiritualist Church on 2 meters, if and when they are available, or in Hartfield Road next to Morrison's Supermarket. Thank you. And now please join me for the closing prayer. Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, we thank you for your guidance and for the opportunity to show others your abiding light, infinite goodness, and unlimited patience. May we rest easy in the knowledge that we are loved, guided, and protected by our unseen friends, guides, and helpers in the spiritual realms. Please uplift our hearts so we may shine out and draw others towards the way of truth and light, and in so doing, make an even stronger connection to our spiritual purpose and inner truth. Amen. Thank you.
Once again, God bless. Have a good and peaceful Easter, and we'll see you all again next Sunday for our service. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Plenty of hot cross buns outside and Easter eggs, and please come and put your daffodils on the altar, at the front there, and take some extras if you'd like to. So thank you very much. Sarah's made a nice cup of tea.